Man goes missing for 5 years, then new photos show up on Facebook. Most people in Chatteris, England, believe that Ricardus Puisis was murdered in 2015. After all, little is known about what happened the fateful day he disappeared without a trace. 5 years later, a startling twist changed everything, and suddenly people began to wonder, was Ricardus murdered or was something else afoot? On September 15, 2015, after a shift at a food production company in the small, sleepy town of Chatteris, England, Ricardus Puisis went missing. Prior to the strange incident, nothing had really been out of the ordinary. Ricardus left work that day and proceeded to take his normal route on his walk home. It was a seemingly average day, until suddenly everything changed. While the details of his journey remain unclear, something or someone kept Ricardus from making it all the way home that day. He never made it, leaving a mind-boggling mystery in his wake. The next day, Puisis didn't show up to work. His absence didn't immediately raise any eyebrows, but after a couple of days, people took note. As time passed, his co-workers began questioning his whereabouts. Days went by without any word, and they became more and more concerned for his safety. Puis's friends and family were hit the hardest. They struggled deeply as days turned to weeks of radio silence from him. It wasn't like Ricardus to disappear like this. After Ricardus had been gone for over a month, he was officially declared a missing person. Then, in late 2015, a murder investigation was launched by the Chatteris Police Department. The case itself baffled the small town's police department, which rarely dealt with cases of this nature. People don't just disappear into midair, leaving the entire town shocked in the process. Authorities scoured Chatteris and its surrounding areas. They even tried looking into Ricardus's past, searching for him at another factory where he previously worked. Nothing was found. Eventually, the case was closed and considered an unsolved mystery. Police were distraught that they weren't able to locate Ricardus or his body. The townspeople were even more upset, though that wasn't the last they'd hear of the Phantom Man. After close to 4 long years, a Facebook account linked to Ricardus Puisis surfaced on the social media website. How could a dead man create a social media account? The Facebook page displayed photos of Ricardus that looked like they'd been taken after the time of his disappearance. Suddenly, there was life in the case once again. It was a shocking discovery, especially since Puisis was widely considered to be dead. His friends and family had no idea what to make of it all. The police department in Chatteris reopened the case and investigation, using his Facebook profile to identify his whereabouts. They would follow the digital trail until they had answers. After some searching, they learned that someone had recently spotted Ricardus near Wisbech and contacted police. They now had a solid lead and were one step closer to the truth. Afraid that Ricardus may be in some kind of imminent danger, police raced to find the factory worker in time. Many feared the worst, but what they found was far more shocking. After an extensive manhunt, a group of officers finally found Ricardus. As they looked around them, they realized there was no way anyone could have known where he'd been hiding all these years. After 5 years, the police discovered Ricardus hiding underneath a mountain of dense undergrowth just 17 miles from the factory where he'd once been an employee. But they still had so many questions. While the man had been found, mystery still surrounds the case. Not much is known about why he disappeared and chose to hide for so many years, but police have some theories. Since finding him, police have launched a second investigation into Puis's potential exploitation by criminal forces. But a case of a reclusive hermit shows that sometimes people go off the grid for more sinister reasons. For Christopher Thomas Knight, the North Pond hermit, a little alone time wasn't even close to being enough. Raised in Albion, Maine in 1965, Christopher had a relatively normal upbringing for the most part.